All right, crafters, this is the very last round one winners bracket, the very last round one bracket game, or match rather, and it's between Steveasaurus and Mel. Steveasaurus here in the top left, Mel in the bottom right, both playing as Terran. So, the winner of this will go into the decider, and I think there's now all of this, once this match is kind of done, all of the deciders will be set up. Quite a few have been played, about half of them have already been played. I really need those other half to be, oh wow, I hit this already, like double depot opener. Anyway, yeah, those remaining deciders, we need to get cracking. So we are going to start round two within the next few days. Ready or not, basically. So any decider games that haven't been played, I'm just going to start pretty ruthlessly canning people because it really can't take this long. It has literally been weeks, given that given that most of these matches have been waiting to be played since before half term. Anyway. Scan from Mel, sees the double racks, sees the engineering bed. I'm not sure I like it. I don't like a scan this early. There's no need for it. A scan costs more than an SCV. Bear that in mind. You know, the energy requirement's the same as a mule, and a mule mines, I can't remember, like 270 minerals or something in its lifetime, or maybe 170. I can't quite remember. It's a chunk of minerals. And an SCV costs 50, so it's you're better off sending an SCV across the map to its death and dropping the mule. Anyway, this looks all right. I'm not sure we need the command center on the high ground here. I'd prefer to in situ, but I don't hit it either. A scan coming down from Steveasaurus actually sees all of the tech. That's a pretty solid scan. So sees the double racks and the factory, but all of these are idle. Look, this barracks is idle, this factory is idle, and that's not a good sign. On the other side of the map, it's only double racks, but they are building stuff. So we're going to find Steveasaurus is going to run away with a significant army advantage if that continues, and he's just going to go ahead and move out with this band of Marines. Now, had Mel started the siege tank much sooner, it would be ready and in position. As it is, the siege tank isn't out yet. And this factory's been finished up for a long time. There's quite a few marauders here, though, and marauders in general beat Marines, but it's a lot of Marines. The further Marines coming down the ramp, I don't know, not shooting straight away from the high ground, which is what you prefer. Mel's going to have to pull workers here and get them attacking. All of these Marines are hurt. Now, with the medevac, if you send the tank in just on an A move, I don't like the siege up, it's out of range. If you send the tank in on an A move with workers repairing it, it'll just kill all of these. But these workers aren't attacking. You've got a medevac. You can literally, these two Marines can kill this because there just isn't high enough DPS. If this CC is lost, this Marine just walking to his death. Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. Well, you had the units to kill it. You had these are unteched Marines, not even combat shield. These 4 Marines kill all of this. These guys aren't damaged. Let's have a quick peek at the upgrade. They've got +1 armor as well. The stuff that's coming out because of the rally point here is on a move command. I mean, with the medevac here, basically Mel doesn't lose a Marine. Simple as that. The siege tank is actually shooting the supply depot. Why is beyond me. Presumably a misclick, but the siege tank was actually firing on its own supply depot there, and the splash damage from that has damaged the tech lab. So that was a pretty bizarre engagement, and it's one that should have gone differently. Steveasaurus essentially shouldn't have achieved much there at all, but did manage to kill a command center. And largely, this siege tank location's useless. If the siege tank's here, then the Marines just can't get it, because there's a supply depot in the way. They'd have to come the whole way up, walk the whole way around here, getting shot the whole time by a siege tank. Nah, mate, they're dead. Or indeed, if the siege tank just attacks with a couple of SCVs repairing it, it would have killed all of that. Bear in mind, like, I know StarCraft, it's only a computer game, but in real life, guys with machine guns against an actual tank, tanks are pretty hardcore. Anyway, yeah, good. So, where are we at? Let's take stock. Steveasaurus is substantially ahead in workers, but has he caught up at all in tech? Because the last time I checked, no is the short answer. So, the factory's only now being built. There's still no tech lab. There's still no sign of a starport. How long actually has Mel been supply blocked there for? So Mel can actually just walk across the map and win this, because look, there is an army advantage in terms of just the numbers, but that isn't the main thing here. It's the quality of the army. These are completely unteched Marines, and they would be up against, oh sorry, I tell a lie, they're not unteched. It is Steveasaurus that's got the armor upgrade and the +1. They're 1-1 Marines, but there's no combat shield, which is miserable. No combat shield on this side either, but the double medevac support would make a huge difference. So this incredibly defensive stance, I don't like it. Get across the map and counter-attack and come in swinging, and you win this game. Wait long enough and that worker advantage is gonna turn into an army advantage in about 3 minutes time. So Mel needs to scout this and realize that at present you can just A-click and win the game. Literally unsiege, A-click your units, make sure the medevacs are following a Marine, and this game's over. Wait long enough though and Steveasaurus will have tanks of his own, +2 attack coming in for the Marines as well. But actually nothing being built yet out of that factory, and no tech lab on the factory for that matter. So tech-wise, Steveasaurus is still pretty much, oh sorry, there is a tech lab, but nothing being built yet from it, and no medevacs, no combat shield. These Marines are ever so squishy, ever so squishy. If these walk in to sieged up siege tanks, they will get obliterated. I mean, it'd be ugly, really ugly. So Mel can just push forward, siege up, and just annihilate this. Oh, it would be painful to see. So the scan reveals that nothing much has changed. Still no tech labs on the racks, nothing much to see in there. I think the time has come that maybe following the scan we're going to see a move out. Look at the siege tank advantage. There's so many siege tanks here. 6 siege tanks will just annihilate this on their own. It's painful. But look, Steveasaurus is busy expanding. Mel, not yet saturated even in the natural. Literally double the workers here. And if Steveasaurus actually gets his arse in gear and builds some production, because two racks in one factory is with 4 command centers, and I think that will slowly but surely happen. There's now 3 racks producing. There's a 4th rack's on the way. The Thor is coming out. This opportunity to win is slipping, and it's slipping fast. Look at the army supply beginning to catch up. Look, this barracks is now idle. I don't know why. This factory is idle. I don't know why. Is it a lack of money? It possibly is. So there is going to be a move out, but the siege tanks are at home. They're like the backbone of your army, and the medevacs are going to walk straight into this and get annihilated. Oh no! Oh, you hate to see this. Oh no, Mel! What the hell? No, medevacs don't shoot. They've got to be with the army. They have to be. So finally, the medevacs are now healing the Marines, and that is going to make a big difference. But where are the siege tanks? Because the siege tanks are what just make this work. These Marines have 2-1, I believe, 2-1 upgrades, and so they just win. If the siege tanks are there, oh my god, it would have been an obliteration. But where are the siege tanks? Parked at home. not doing, like, if you're moving out, move out, you know? Why leave the siege tanks at home? Your opponent can't be in your face if they're defending their base, can they? So, yeah, I mean, Steveasaurus might be feeling confident about attacking at this stage. He shouldn't. There's so many siege tanks here that this is just like, look how, there you go. That's what the siege tanks would have done on the other side of the map. Now the Thor will do better, but let's see. Fires one shot. Obliterated. Like just, and for reasons, what? Mel, why are you attacking your own factory? Oh, with the queue of Thors! Repair it! If this burns down, you've lost the money for those Thors. I don't... What on earth is going on in this game, man? Anyway, let's speed it up. I slowed it down for a battle, and then the battle happened. I forgot to speed it up again. Steveasaurus, surely when you look at your balance and you realize you've got 4,500 minerals, 2,500 gas, that you haven't got enough tech structures. So definitely barracks coming down, but you know, come on. A tech lab, please. Combat shield, stim, please. A medevac, please. Like 3 factories, 4 factories, 5 factories, anything. Finally, there is a starport coming down, so hopefully we'll see some medevacs. But you know, if you want like 1 medevac per 8 Marines, and you have all of these, what are we up to here? We're up to 7 racks. You know, given that Marines build in a fraction of the time of medevacs, you need at least 2 starports, if not 3, to keep the medevac production up to the Marine production. And you don't have that. You've got 1 with a ridiculous queue. So anyway, the army supply is now in favor of Steveasaurus, and I'm disappointed in what I've seen. You know, the superior tech was here with all them siege tanks, and it just stayed at home. And yeah, you know what I mean? This game should have been over more than once, but still it isn't. Steveasaurus should have won had he actually bothered to get combat shield and medevacs. You know, would have won in the very first push. As for now, I don't know who's going to win. I can't tell. It's 200 supply for Steveasaurus. That is going to be the signal for the move out. But, you know, he can't really push into all those siege tanks. But it depends on the spread. He can certainly come down here and kill this base. You need to evacuate this. You need to lift up the CC and fly it out of there. And you need to spread your siege tanks better. This one's doing nothing. This one's doing nothing. You need to get them forward and protect this location. That's a lot of Thor, but you don't want to be out of the range of your own siege tanks. You need your opponent to be walking into siege tank fire. And he's just on the edge of that. So it looks like Mel is going to push this back. And as Steveasaurus runs, Mel has a good chance to actually put some hurt on this army. The Thors are the big money plays here. These Marines are 3-3, I think, or maybe 3-2, and are going to push through, you know, while they're out of range of the siege tanks. But just watch what happens now. Once all of the siege tanks open fire, it's just an obliteration. I mean, this is such an inefficient trade, but is it going to matter? Steveasaurus has still got a substantial army. He's trying to push up this ramp here. All of the Marines are gone to siege tank, but the Thors, of course, much tougher, are going to survive for the time being, but ultimately this is all going to die, and Steveasaurus' army supply gets knocked down to 7. There's only 3 Marines building at home. Why? Look at the money in the bank. Look at the number of racks you've got, and you're building, what, 3 Marines? Dude, I'm building 3 Marines at the 2-minute mark. What is this? So, production, for reasons best known to herself, has stopped in Mel's base as well. There's nothing coming out of the starport. There's, I mean, what's being built here? Oh, God. Anyway, yeah, so, I don't know. Ooh, indeed. Ooh. Expected that to do more. Yeah, well, you know, have you got combat shield? You don't. Did you just walk literally with no stim into siege tanks? You did. You know what I mean? You should be scared. You should be. You should have won this game ages ago. And Steveasaurus, you should have won this game ages ago. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, just walking into siege tanks in a ramp is a surefire way for Marines to die. Even with 3-3 and completely unteched. Are they? Yes. No upgrades whatsoever from Mel. Completely unteched. Even unteched, the siege tanks will kill that, although the 3-3 helped out a great deal. And you know, bear in mind, your ratios are all skewed here. Let's take a look at the units. 69 Marines, but only 6 medevacs. It's not right, is it? It's not right. So here we go again. There are no siege tanks this time. There's only one. This time, surely Steveasaurus just walks through here and wrecks absolutely everything. But just imagine, given how many Marines have been produced and have died in this game, how much value the combat shield would have got. You know, 100 is how much that would have cost you. Same price as a single medevac, and it adds literally 10 health to every single Marine you've produced in this game. Just imagine how many hit points that is. Imagine how many siege tank shots that is. Like that, you know. This game would have ended a lot sooner for that one upgrade. You don't often see SCVs kill a Thor, but that's what's just happened there. Anyway, it is over, so momentarily we'll see a GG, and that will be that. Yeah, GG.